Appendix C, the sample garrison policy and statement guidance, including the appendix of the two sample documents for the use of the garrison commanders to establish the policy guidance of the garrison hazardous material management program. Instead of for some place, I'm going to say Fort the Udis. Sample place policy statement. Fort Udis policy to management hazard substance hazard material hazard waste environmental acceptable manner to enhance the mission readiness, reduce the prevention, pollution, and controlling, reducing the acquisition, use of the handling, disposition, hazardous material management, generation of hazardous waste, and hazardous material management program supports the supply chain integration concepts and our sustainability objectives and consistent with the AR 710-2s are using supply below limits with all federal, state, and local regulations and IMCOM guidance and emission environmental practices requirements and integrated to the establishment maintaining the sound hazardous material management program. Fort Udis envisions a continual improvement of its ability to sustain the mission of protecting the environment. This will be accomplished by identifying documentation, operation, process, products, and the environmental impacts, establishing centralized management of the visibility of hazardous material and waste, establish hazardous material management program committee to plan to oversee the hazardous material management program, recommended policies and procedures during the changes, implementation, integrated operation, installation wide, conducting periodically audits of the compliance with identifying the opportunities to enhance the mission specific businesses, practice coordinated, incorporated with the fort some place will include the not limited to establish the authorization units listed to documentation, identification, documentation, approval of the process using the hazard material, generation hazard waste to control hazard material used at garrison and anticipate the regulated waste streams. To centralize hazard material management and procure the consistency with the authorized user list, tracking the hazard material chemical constitutes for acquisition final disposition. Using a hazard material management software centralized database to manage the tracking the hazard material management program operations as a source of information, documentation, conformance with the goals, objectives, and compliance reporting tool. 5. The hazardous communication and guidance training, the hazardous materials handling and training. Fort Udis activities, tenants, and personnel are required to comply with the policy as well as the federal, state, local laws, regulations, aim, protection, home and health. Environmental failure to comply with these laws, regulations, and civil criminal penalties, not allowing any of the against any garrison against as criminal penalties not only against the garrison but also against its personnel. According to all activities, tenant and personnel are directed to implement sound hazard material management program consistent with the policy and procedures and documents. C2 Sample Guidance Document. The Sample Guidance Document is in most cases the take of the form of the garrison regulations. Purpose: this documentation establishes the hazard material management program responsibility management hazard material hazardous waste from within Fort Udis. The core objective is to improve the logistics operational mission of the performance of controlling the reducing acquisition, using, handling, disposal hazard material, generation hazardous waste consistent with the Army's supply integration sustainability objectives. The hazard material management guidance is assumed to the operation of the hazard material management, the tomb toll or automated toll. The program is applicable to the form the Fort Udis activities and tenants and personnel. The proponent of the program of the Fort Udis the Department of Logistics recommendation of welcome to should be forwarded to the Chief of the Department of Logistics Environmental Division in writing. Recommendation enhancements should include submitting the activity point of the contact address, telephone number, specific section to be enhanced, proposed enhancement, news, text, and justification to include proper benefits and drawbacks. The Fort Udis Hazardous Material Management Program Mission Statement. The Fort Udis Hazardous Material Mission Statement is an initiative to enhance readiness, improve sustainability, the controlling, the tracking, the acquisition, handling, disposition of hazardous material. The program serves as the base of the focal point of the hazardous material, hazardous waste management. It combines with the traditional functions of the Environmental Division, supplying the contracting, logistics, garrison, safety office. Fort Udis someplace has material program, establish organization, business practices, implementation centralized in the hazard material management throughout the garrison. The purpose of the fundamentation of the Fort Utis someplace is hazard material management program is minimize tracking and control of the ordering distributions using disposition of hazard material through the effective use of the single point program control. It also facilitates the hazardous waste generation and final disposal, and essential to the program required to obtain the maintain updated copies of the manufacturer's MSDS for all HM hazard material broads from about the garrison. The program using the standard Army supplemental management system, the hazard management application HMMA, that facilitate necessary tracking to provide the centralized database management compliance reports. The hazard material management application links process the material uses of the generated and tracked materials chemical constitution throughout their life cycle. The force place viewed as in the facility potential health hazards exposure or to tracking. The hazard material management prepares the key and mandatory environmental reports, facilities management and reporting. The 1F duties. The commander ensures the integrated logistics, environmental, occupational safety, health, and hazardous substance policy procedures established by the disseminated garrison-wide. B appoints at the Environmental Quality Control Committee for Environmental Quality Oversight. The Hazard Material Management Program Committee from day-to-day operational oversight. Ensure that for some place units complies with the appliance of the environmental guidance procedures. B obtains necessary resource to maintain the Hazard Material Management Program. Chairs the Hazard Material Management Program. 2. The Department of Logistics serves as the policy as in deputy chair, the voting member of the For Someplace Hazard Material Management Program Committee, schedules committee change in meetings and publishes agenda, prepares reports for the garrison commander, establishes the Hazard Material Management Program, divides centralized acquisition, storage, issue tracking hazardous material through its life the cycle of the garrison, publishes standard authorization procedure for the Hazard Material Control Program, operations, customer support, ensure the Hazard Material Control Program personnel and hazard material management application uses, receives receives proper hazard material management software training. Ensure the safety receipt of the handling of this storage and issue of the hazard material. Ensure material safety data sheets are readily issued and available with the hazard material as propelling handling and emergency response preparedness. Ensure processing unit activity turn in timely in order to maximize potential transfer of the reutilization hazard material prior to the life expiration. Provide necessary logistics data provided with the garrison depot standards to support environmental hazard material management program requirements. Conduct plan and unscheduled hazard material assignments, hazard material management program to include the inspection assistance visits. Coordinate the Department of Public Works with the Safety Industrial Hygiene Office. J. 1. Identify the process of hazard material generate the hazardous waste result in the unsafe condition for the personnel for some unit someplace. Identify the hazard material authorized user levels of storage per location pre-authorization of hazard material prior to the first time ordering. Maintain process updates to the safety data sheets data. Make safety data sheets information available for the installation personnel. Review approves the authorized user change the request and condition with the Department of Public Works safety officer prepared of the add a HOC hazardous safety management reports as required to determine the tracks necessary for the hazard management training of the garrison personnel. Provides a point of contact day-to-day for the use of hazard material tracking system. 3. The Department of Public Works provide a hazardous environmental point of the input of the garrison commander. The hazard management program and committee recommends associated goals and consistent with the higher headquarters guidance and conduct the annual pollution prevention assessment to identify the opportunities to enhance pollution prevention efforts to measure the goal achievement. The C improves environmental staff oversight guidance inspection for someplace operation attendant the activities sometimes in conjunction with the safety external offices identify the potential non-hazardous production substitution serves as the Hazard Material Management Program Committee and the voting member that coordinates with the Department of Logistics of the Safety Industrial Hygiene Office. 1. They identify the process hazardous material generate the hazardous waste results in unsafe for the personnel service or someplace. Identify the hazardous material authorized user levels of the storage per location. Pre-authorize hazardous material prior to the first time ordering. Maintain the process use updates of the material safety data sheets. Provide safety data sheet information with the fire department. Reviews approved for the user authorized list of change requests and coordinate with the Department of Logistics safety offers. Establish, operate the hazardous waste management office to provide collection, disposal, recycling hazardous material and waste. Coordinate with the Department of Logistics and Industrial Hygiene office to determine the transfer track necessary for the hazard safety training for the garrison personnel. The Fort Eunice Someplace Safety Officer provides safety information to the garrison commander with a hazard material control committee. Or management program committee serves as the hazard material management committee as a voting member, conducts the safety occupational planning for the Fort Someplace Eunice, coordinates with the Department of Logistics Environmental Division, establish policy and procedures identifying the hazard material, authorized user prior to the use of the hazard material prior to the first ordering, conducting the safety occupational assessments to identify the opportunities to enhance safety efforts, reducing Fort Someplace Eunice personnel risk. Participate in authorized user list is change approvals. Identification of hazard material not in the hazard management database during the activity. Assistant visits and reports these items to the chief of the hazard material control program to the action. Conducts hazardous communication training of the Fort Someplace personnel. Department of Logistics Operation Maintenance Division establishes procedure and implementation of the hazard material management policy. Or Fort Someplace Fort Eunice has material policy for this operation maintenance division. Serves the voting member of the Fort Someplace Eunice has material management committee. The Fort Someplace Health Clinic Logistics Division supply officer follows the Surgeon General guidance on establishing hazardous material management control program. Publishes standard authorization of hazard material control program operation of customer services. Enters hazard material management uses the hazard material management as there can occur with the hazard material management application as they occur at or at least a week. For the Department of DOIM, ensure adequate network for the support of the hazard material application transaction between the server and the client, if required, to provide the necessary internet protocol address network access to support the hazard material operations. Maintenance of the hazard material application includes required maintenance of the contract, provide necessary software to maintain the hazard material management program and hazard material management related software hardware upgrades as required. Participate as voter membership of the Fort Someplace Hazard Management Committee. The Hazard Management Committee is reasonable integrated efforts necessary to successfully implement the hazard management software to support the enhanced hazard management control program business practice on the garrison. B develops an implementation plan for the hazard material management program, assigns the roles and responsibility, identifies assigned actions, necessary milestones, ensure milestones are satisfactorily completed. Supervises the implementation work group of the hazard management program. Provides oversight of the hazard management program operation. Conducts periodic in progress reviewing briefings of status hazard management program implementation and ongoing operation. Is chair of the garrison commander, includes the representation of all tenants of the Department of Logistics, Base Operations, Supplies, Department of Work, Public Works, the Safety Office, the DOIM, the garrison of the Environmental Quality Control Company. Adjusted membership is required. The tracking system and point of the contact of the Hazard Management Application Access is directed by the Hazard Management Program Committee. Conducts day-to-day maintenance of the Hazard Management Application Database. Conducts periodic updates of the table as required. Coordinates the Hazard Management software updates of the appropriate office software provider. Receives, tracks, and submits for it. Eunice Someplace has management software engineering change and proposal assistant installation leaders of the preparing reports of the hazard management software data as required. Supports the hazard management control program, hazard waste management, and correcting data that has assists the DOIM in identifying the correcting network programs related to the hazard management software as required in the hazard management control program. The Department of Logistics Supply and Division. They established the policy, acquisition, storage of the HM hazard management in accordance with the Fort Eunice Someplace policy. Manage the hazard management integral parts of supply mission. Maintains the hazard material inventory consistent with the standard Army procedure provided with the support. The mission and Fort Someplace activities. Established, publishes operating hours consistent with the customer requirements. Publishes customer procedures of the hazard management required transactions. Established requisition objectives, reorder the point of the hazard material required at the store to be stocked, used, and just in time requisition to the extent of the possible defense supply system and the local purchase procedures. Have established procedures of the meeting and the emergency hazard management requirements. Establish the hazard material reuse capability. Ensure the hazard management control program provides personnel receives hazard handling management training and includes hazard management application transaction training, and ensures the material safety data sheets applying with the requisitions stored in the HM and material safety data sheets accompanying the receipt of the hazard material. Documentation of all hazard management transaction using the hazard management application issued received with the hazard management 2 hours request of the hazard receipt for the source of supply. Receives empty hazard management containers. Customers records the hazard management usage of in the hazard management application. Participates in forward supply. Some places uses hazard management committee. Ensure that the spill plan prepared with approved the emergency response reviewed, updated at least annual. They ensures the appropriate spill response materials are on hand. The director of the fire department participates and votes. A member of the for some place hazard management committee provides a policy and guidance of the fire-related issues that maintaining the hazard material management policy. The director contracting setup of the contracting mechanisms, local vendorism, meter customer requirements for the local purchase items delivered will be the hazard material control program. The Department of Logistics Supply Division who will issue the hazard material of the garrison committee using the hazard management application. Participate in the vote of the members of the some place hazard management committee. Provides guidance and controlling the general purchase order. General purchase cards for the hazard management procurement. Ensures all services, maintenance, construction contacts includes statements of facilities full of the support of the installation of hazard material management program. Reports the garrison commander of the hazard management control program purchased the unauthorized hazard material. The government purchase cards holders of the Fort Supply UDIS activity chiefs and tenants to ensure that all process hazard waste and hazard management and waste streams have been approved and incorporated with the hazard management program, and authorized user list to allow expeditious hazard management transaction. Ensure the establishment of 2-week shop at the lab supply levels of the hazard management normally used in the day-to-day business. Ensure the hazard management can access the 2-week storage level in excess, knowing it immediately needs to return to the needs of the hazard management control program. It includes the closed container usable materials obtaining the hazard management program appropriate to the hazard management control program. Return empty containers. Report the actual hazard management uses of the hazard management control program. Coordinated between the hazard management control program and the customer. Ensure the work areas, the laboratories maintain the correct manufacturer's material safety data sheets for the hazard management used or stored. Designate personnel authorized to request, receive, and store hazard management. Obtain, mark, and appropriate containers for the collected using the hazard management material. Coordinate with the turn over unserviceable hazard management with the hazard waste office. Designate personnel authorized to coordinate with the turn into the hazardous waste. Ensure all personnel exposed to the hazardous safety in the course that they work with is received the training, and ensure that they properly adequate the personal protective equipment is required to stock and maintain and issued personnel to the personnel. And ensure that all personnel are made aware of the comply with the requirements and provide the representation for someplace hazard management community. Inspect the work areas to ensure the hazard materials that have been required of the tracking system. The hazard materials and properly rotated and stored, that they use are properly marked in accordance with the for someplace activity guidance. Ensure the spill plans are prepared, approved, and available for the emergency response and reviewed, updated at least annually. Ensure that the hazardous waste supply response immediately in accordance with the site spill response plan. Notify the environmental office. Fire department safety officers when appropriate. Ensure that the appropriate spill response materials are on hand. 14 individual military civilian personnel required. Personnel handling and using hazardous safety. Seek appropriate training when it's issued the handling of the hazardous safety. Ensure the safety data sheets are on hand, electronic and hard copy that all hazard material on hand before having the potential hazardous waste associated with the hazard management on or on hand. Where appropriate, personnel protective equipment, well as handling hazardous substance. Refer to the safety data sheet product, all labels, technical manuals, and our other garrison safety guidance individual should ensure that personal protective equipment is maintained in accordance with applicable technical documents. Handle the hazardous material accordance to safety documents. Your product labels, hazard management in accordance with the Army. Forward you to someplace. Guidance on approved procedures. Place to use hazardous material in properly marked containers. Notify the supervisor section chief when appropriate when the new process materials are required on or when new waste streams when generated. Contain cleanup spills. Immediately report spills. Fill to the supervisor. Fill the spills with larger those than the possible host safety health to treat the personal environmental. Immediately notify the Department of Public Works and the Environmental Division. Consult individual activity spill plans for more detail. G. Authorized user list of hazard material and processes and algorithms. Authorized user list definitions. The authorized user list of the process approved within the use of the force on place activities, tenants, and all the authorized user list required of the created when approved. The safety data sheet is tagged on for local the tracking system when the material is approved for the specific work area, the zone, and process applicable. Each authorization includes a review of the approve all aspects of the process that hazard material using. The process using hazard material was the result waste stream emissions of water sensor involved. The authorized user list is for the support of the Department of the Army for supply of the hazard material policy that can be used in organizational for the standards 14,000 efforts. Authorized user list. The authorized user list is controlled by the hazard management acquisition, identifying the type of the hazard waste usage is estimated how hazard waste generation to support the environmental reporting. The prescribed government agency pollution prevention tool. Each of the requisition receipts and still issue transactions is validated against the U.S. user listed authorized user list prior to the completion of the transaction. Exemptions of the authorized user list are reported to the Department of Logistics are appropriate. The traction system automatically validates each issue. The transaction establishes the authorization prior to the issue. Authorized requirements of system warning, which must be overridden by the hazard material control program. Operator overriding the warning requires approval of the Department of Logistics and appointed with the representative overriding the authorized user list and shelf life expiration message during the material transaction creates exemption reports work areas of the supervisor environmental office safety officer review exceptions reports weekly and take the actions necessary to correct the causing the current exemptions. Those actions need to preclude the recurrence. Each distant operation such as painting, the recirculating, solving part of the washer, performing a medical procedure, conducting research, protocols constitute a process of transaction. System processes may be activity specific generally for non-location specific processes, generated waste. Maintain authorized user list. The supervisor responsible for ensuring the tracking system database accurately reflects the approved process, hazard material, hazard waste generation, and authorized user change of the requests are conducted through the Department of Logistics chain to use process in advance with the hazard material and to ensure the efficiency of the flow of the hazard material management program. Pollution prevention opportunity and reporting. H. Pollution prevention, operation, assessment, and reporting. Hazard management, petroleum inspection will be added to the command list and inspection criteria of the Department of Logistics. Inspection and assistance visits to the hazard material management control program to verify the hazard material management program policies. Guidance has been implemented or are being followed by the conductor on a scheduled and unscheduled basis. Inspection will be provided to supply the division support for the corrective action and the copy of the reporting, identify shortcoming opportunities for the improvement of the recommendation solicitation is forward with the hazard management committee program. For review, the appropriate action, the environmental office conducts an annual pollution prevention opportunity assessment and identify the potential reduced hazard management acquisition throughout the chains into the process of the material substitution. They are also assist in individual opportunities to reduce the hazardous waste generation through material substitution or process change. The training of the system provides the hazardous waste and hazard management and the chemical inventory using the information to substantiate or the assessment of the tracking system also provides the capability to automate the 42 U.S. Standard Chapter 116 reporting biannual hazardous waste management reporting. The centralized database provided the opportunities of the ad hoc management report for supply activities are encouraged to take advantage in management tools or for you to sort someplace. Activities are encouraged to take advantage of the management tools requested that are provided by the Hazard Management Control Program. Inspection reports are provided by the operational managers to the Hazard Management Committee for the appropriate action. The Safety Office will add the Hazard Management Program criteria to the annual and periodic inspection system. Its criteria will include lack of required maintained personal protective equipment and the status of training the hazardous management waste uses. Reports will provide operational managers of the Hazard Management Committee for action. Expected hazardous material management program benefits. The Fort Someplace for Utis Hazard Management Program. It helps the garrison commander protect human health and environmental throughout the enhanced compliance with the existing laws and regulations that further support the sustainable objectives can generate in savings the reduction usage, elimination of the duplicating traction and information of the control of the ozone depletion, substance wavering, allocation of supporting the new tasks and was done in all garrisons and by the executive order of the federal state compliance with the requirements of the Department of the Defense and the Army regulations contributes to the safe handling of the ozone depleting substances, the hazardous waste, and reducing the potential for the notice of the violations of the monetary fines associated with them. Can realize cost saving in the both procurement of the hazardous waste, procurements of the hazard management and the disposal of hazardous waste and solid waste, addressing the inherent program of the shelf expiration dates, environmental, occupational health and safety and risk, and safe storage and security disposal, liability, cost tracking, and reporting requirements, and realize significant cost savings from reducing the amount of the hazardous waste acquired for the processing expired shelf life materials. Appendix D. Sample Hazard Material Management Internal Standard Operating Procedure.